it's completely external. It literally goes to Toronto, goes to LA, goes to New York.
Well, I mean, I know you probably don't want to be like a show off or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll say it, like you've got awards from Toronto, Paris, Singapore, just massive like hubs around the world.
Yeah.
Places that, some people that have watched movies like have never been to.
Yeah.
And you probably haven't been either.
Yeah.
To some of the places.
Yeah.
And it's unreal that people there are watching your videos.
I actually have.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Fair enough. Well, welcome to episode 11. I'm here with Josiah Dunjey from Dunjeyproductions. He's the CEO and founder.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so you're a filmmaker, producer, editor,
filmmaker,
do it
producer,
all.
director. My company Dunjeyproductions. Short film company predominantly for now in Perth, Western Australia.
Yeah, and when did you start that?
It was founded in 2019 while me and my mate Peter Sullivan, we were in high school. So it was year 11 towards the end when we just had this idea to create a war film. It was called Gone for the Moment, and it was our very first short ever. And from then, we were like, we need a name basically to call this company. And I don't know why we didn't go with Sullivan Productions, my mate's surname, but we went with mine, Dunjey Productions, and that's
just has a ring to it.
Yeah. It does now.
Stuck for now.
It's stuck. I made shorts before that as well.
You were always into media and creating as a kid.
Yeah. First ones were kind of Star Wars based ones,
right?
And that was my childhood.
Star Wars person.
Yeah.
Not a Harry Potter person.
I love that as well through high school more though, and primary school was very much Star Wars.
Right.
And it was in primary school, so like year 4, year 5, around the age of 10. That's when me and my other mate, we were making short films, and that was just on iMovie, on the iPad.
Right. Yeah.
And we would do that every time he would come over. Would make these little short films, and that has just carried through. So, I mean, really, it's been making films for 10 years.
Wow.
So
you're 20 now?
19 now, yeah.
19 now. When do you turn 20 soon?
Next year, midway. Yeah, June.
Yep. I'll see one of the youngest in your year then.
I was the youngest. June 28th is my birthday.
Oh, wow.
So I was very much the youngest.
No wonder you had so much time to work in your own stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, it's very handy.
Do you ever feel like you were missing out as a kid? Especially in that 17, 18-year-old kind of range?
No, absolutely
Never
not.
ever?
I had no interest to drink alcohol. I had no interest to go to parties or do anything like that.
Just a natural-born hustler.
Yeah, getting my license was the only thing.
Yeah, I can imagine,
but I was very proficient in doing that anyway.
Right.
That I got it within a month or two of turning 16. 17, yeah.
Fair enough.
So, did not miss it at all. And people would say, being the youngest, is that annoying? Absolutely not. No.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So now we're here, probably 2 years after your first film was released, or even maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
Because you won an award when you were 16.
Yeah, we won a few. Those were they were European. The 3 of them. I think 2 were the UK and 1 was somewhere else. But that was 2019.
And you and Peter won those together.
Yeah, for the film.
For the film, yeah.
So since then, the awards have taken off on a bigger scale as well.
Yeah. You should come and bring one here. You can just leave all of them here.
I've got to, bro. I've got to put something there.
No, you will for sure.
Yeah.
I always forget to tell the guests to bring it, and then I'm like, you just drop down another day. Most of these have been like from another time, but yeah.
What about a $60,000 camera? We'll put it right there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll probably sell it, to be honest. Can you believe that, guys? $60,000 cameras. That's what you were operating with recently when you were on the set.
Before Dawn, that was a feature film. That was Jordan Prince Wright's.
Another war film.
Yeah, World War One. So
but it's a long format film.
It is, feature film. So it'll be under 2 hours from what I'm told.
Where does it get released?
I have no clue.
In the movies?
Well, it's Australian, so it'll be theatrical theaters from what I know. But that's Prince Wright Productions. So that's another bigger film company in WA. And I was a part of that project for 2 months last year.
Yeah.
And that was shot in Esperance, so 9-hour drive down south from Perth.
And you were there for 2 months?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was 6 weeks in Esperance and it was 2 weeks in Kew. And Kew's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Middle
Still
of WA.
in WA though? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so
and how was that? That was probably like some of the best experience you've ever had.
Oh, it was very good. It was amazing. The crew are just great on that one because it was they were a lot more professional than what I had obviously done with my stuff being 17, 18, and I turned 18 when I was on set.
Right.
So I was the youngest one there as well. It was a blessing to be there. So
yeah,
I learned a lot.
Fair enough. So that's now. And then, like we talked about before as well, but let's kind of like backtrack it.
Yeah.
So you have 4 films right now rolling. And how did you kind of get to that stage? So you were 16, you released a film with Peter, you won a whole bunch of awards, and you were kind of thrust into the limelight. How was that kind of like dealing with like, I suppose, fame or like local fame at a young age?
Yeah, there's no fame yet, unfortunately, but there's attention. So there's.
I like that.
There's just people recognizing that it's something a bit different, and it's people recognizing that there's potential. So like since then I've worked with local restaurants, local companies, local groups, our local kind of city of Swan.
Even your school that you went to as well.
My school as well. So yeah, the opportunities kind of poured in from there.
Yeah.
And it was that very first kind of screening that we had of the first movie at our school in our theatre room. And the principal was there. He came up to us after and he just said, boys, well done. Want to congratulate you on this.
Yeah.
If there's anything we can do financially for the next one, because we were going into our last year.
Right.
So it was looking promising.
And did you do that as part of an ATAR subject, that film?
No.
You just did it as a hobby?
Yeah, we did do ATAR Media, both of us, but it was completely for fun.
Yeah. Did you do well on the subject as well?
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
We did. That's another story. Our short film that we did actually do for WACE,
in Year 12,
our media project, we got 100% on that.
I did read that. That was in the newspaper and everything.
Yeah. So that is what kind of got a bit more attention.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, backtracking after our first film, it was 3-4 months after. It was the summer 2020, right before COVID hit, and we shot another one, and that was 1920s.
Yes.
So that's the one where we had local restaurant in Bullsbrook, Red Roof Bar and Grill, and we shot that down for 3 days.
Wow.
And that was free. So that was us. That was me and my dad going there.
And you asked them?
Yeah, kind of just pitching it to them.
And they lost revenue for 3 days, but they were happy to do it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
shout out them.
we returned a few months later with a big frame of the movie poster. And I'm not sure if it's hanging up because I haven't been back since, but
I'm sure it will.
I would hope.
I'm sure it will be.
I would hope.
Yeah. So you filmed there, and that was, and then you, obviously you're in Year 12. And you were balancing the company, which had, I suppose, taken off a little bit.
Yeah.
As well as Year 12. Yeah. How was that?
It was pretty tough at times. But at the end of the day, the most important thing to me was the film. Yeah. And just the company and continuing to do what I want to do. And that took place over the English exam or the whatever.
Fair enough.
It took place over that. So
did you have intentions of going to uni after school, or did you always know you just kind of want to pursue?
I didn't always know. It was the start of 2020 when I was thinking about not going, possibly.
And that's the start of your Year 12 as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then by the end of it, midway through, when we had done our WACE film, and that was The Gift of Years, so that was our big one. The short film, World War II. Once we did that, that's when I was like, don't know if I want to go to uni. Right. Because I can continue to do this. And then
ironically, that film got 100% in the WACE exam.
Exactly.
Which was the first ever?
Yeah. No, second, I believe.
Right.
Jordan Prince Wright was actually the first.
Right, and then you worked for him.
And then I worked, exactly.
With him,
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So it all linked up. So it was the right connections. And I knew Jordan from my dad earlier on.
Okay.
So it's all linked.
Yeah, and
Perfectly.
how does your dad play into it? Is he a big like film buff, got you into it, or just someone that's always been there supporting you?
Yeah, he's definitely been supporting. From day one. He did get me into films, to be honest, when I think about it, because he showed me Star Wars and he did all of that. He's not a very big buff, but he's seen a lot of movies and his opinion is always helpful.
Yeah.
But he was a teacher. He was a primary school teacher at Beachborough Christian School.
Right.
So Jordan Prince-Wright was taught by my dad.
So all
that's kind of how it
full
linked.
circle, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Which was pretty cool. It was exciting. Because there's like almost a 10-year difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 100% for both of us.
Right. So you get past the limelight, and then you just keep making films. You decide you don't want to go to uni. And so what does like kind of the first year of after uni life look for you? Did you ever like Whopper cross your mind at all?
Yeah, it did originally. Whopper was something that I wanted to do, but it was 2019 where they stopped doing a directing course, and that was one that I was actually interested in because I didn't want to pursue the acting or the music side. Obviously it was the directing, and they stopped doing that. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it was due to lack of attention, or they didn't have the resources for it anymore, but that kind of died down. So I had zero interest to go to Whopper. I still would have zero interest now. Just seeing what comes out. So
because I think like we were talking before we started recording, you said you can't really teach creativity. No,
you can't teach creativity, and I think the people at Whopper are very, very talented, and that's why they get in, because it's one of the best in the world.
And it's one of the hardest to get into as well.
It's very hard to get into. And they're very talented, and you have that space to create, and you have that space to be put on the limelight, and obviously and be shown.
And you get the resources.
You get all of that, but after those 4 years, I'm not sure. It's like you could work on films in the meantime as well, which are actual productions, and it's not like you don't do that in Whopper, but you do that under the supervision of Whopper itself. You do that under mentors, and you do that under a lot of other things. The way I did it was just dive straight in, and so my first year out,
self-taught.
Exactly. I did 2 feature films. Darkest Age, which was a 45-day feature, and Before Dawn, obviously the war one. And I've learnt incredible amounts from that. And the people that I worked with there were people that were ex-Whopper students. So I dove straight in.
Yeah. And what do they kind of like think, like when you say, I just finished school, technically nothing on the resume apart from what you've done, apart from what you've made.
Yeah.
Like, how do they feel about it?
Surprisingly, they've been very supportive of it.
Yeah.
And they like it. Like,
it speaks for itself, I suppose.
Yeah. But Before Dawn, especially, everyone on that crew were much older. I think the second youngest was 22, and she was in costumes. So apart from that, they're all much older, and they're very, very supportive of it, and they love to see it, which is what I really appreciated, and I learnt a lot from them. Just being professional.
Well, the whole thing's just a learning experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like, to be honest, I rocked up. I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was sort of a fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, where it's like, I can do this, but I have never done it. So I was learning as I went. But I mean, we all were, to be honest.
So when you work on sets that aren't your own, you're mostly working as a videographer, or?
Yeah, in camera department.
I
found that was the best way for me to learn, and that's the thing that I have the most interest in. That's not directing and producing.
Right. And I probably should break it down for the guests. When I had the Dead Film Society and asked them like, what is the difference between a film and a movie? I think a lot of people that aren't in the film like industry like yourself want to know like, what is a producer?
A producer is someone who handles the logistics of the project.
Right. So it's kind of like a director's right-hand man? Or not really?
It's the guy that gets the director what he wants.
Okay.
So if the director wants this location, the producer will take care of that. Obviously, they'll send that to location managers and things like that. But the producer is kind of the person that makes the whole thing happen. It comes down to finances, where they shoot, what they eat, just the schedule, absolutely everything.
Right.
The producer oversees all of that.
Okay.
And they hand it down to the heads of departments.
So you're saying, could the producer be the director as well?
Yeah. So
how you are yourself.
Many are. Steven Spielberg, he's done that a lot. George Lucas is the most famous one, where he produces Star Wars and he directs it. So yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of producers are also writers.
Yeah, exactly. Directors and writers. Quentin Tarantino, he produces, writes, and directs.
Yeah.
So you can definitely do it.
Is that your idol, Quentin Tarantino, or?
Yeah, I think Martin Scorsese more.
Okay.
Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg. Those are kind of childhood. Well, Steven Spielberg childhood kind of role models, I suppose, for directing.
And how do you kind of like? See, it's hard to like have an idol who you don't really see, if that makes sense. Because it's just like a name.
Yeah.
You know, like at the start of the movie, it's like whatever, directed, written, and produced by so and so, and you just look up to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you can obviously see what they're doing, and the number one thing is that you get inspired.
Yeah.
You know, you watch it and you get inspired, and instantly because of that, you gravitate more to their work.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that
So you find yourself watching more of their films.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's definitely the case for me and Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese. Like, you gravitate to one, and then you just keep going back, and all of a sudden you love what they do.
Yeah.
And you want to take from that.
And I suppose you develop your own style according to your idols as well.
Yeah.
Who do you kind of fashion yourself most like, even if it's not your idol?
I couldn't
say you're your own person.
Yeah, you just can't compare. I think the themes would be more Steven Spielberg. I do a lot of war.
Yeah, I've seen that, a lot of war.
Yeah, you could put that close to his
Why do
kind
you
of themes.
like to dabble in war so much? Is it because of the landscape of like Australian, like outdoors? Like it's kind of easier to do war, or
not really? It's very hard.
Yeah,
like just finding jungle areas.
Okay.
In Perth for World War II, Kokoda, like Papua New Guinea area, it's like that's not in Perth. I think the reason why I gravitate towards it is it's just very simple, and it's simple, but it's not. It's simple, and it's something you can dive into a lot more.
Yeah, intricate.
Yeah, exactly. It's intricate. So you've got that aspect of it, but then there's also the fact that it's like it's hard to explain. But yeah, the themes aren't as prevalent now in society for war. You don't see much war coming out, and if it is, it's the blockbuster wars. There's a new one coming out which is on Netflix, and that's I think it's All Quiet on the Western Front.
Western Front, yeah.
It might be a remake of the original one, but it's completely in German, from the German perspective.
Oh, right.
So that looks really good. And obviously the last biggest one was 1917. But yeah, it's not that popular now.
Yeah, it isn't.
So I like doing it because it's very it's
so
niche.
You're trying to like revive it, you'd say?
Not really revive, but you can tell so many stories through war.
Okay.
There's so many different stories, and it just doesn't stop. So yeah, I definitely gravitate towards it because of that.
Fair enough. So do you find yourself often researching the times when war was a thing? Because right now, I wouldn't say that war is a thing at all.
No, it's not a big thing now.
Unless you want to talk about like the people on Twitter just having beef every day.
Yeah.
You can call that a war.
Yeah, you've got like the Russia-Ukraine, you've got that, but Middle East. It's not very practical to make a movie on that now, though.
Yeah, true.
For both sides, it's not practical. So, I'm trying not to typecast myself though, with war, because I've done war. I've done that twice now, and one of them has been my most successful, and that was The Gift of Years, obviously. But now I've steered off war, and I don't want.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make another one.
So the 4 that are like in the pipeline right now, what are those about? What are the themes there?
You've got anywhere from thriller to adventure, survival, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gone a bit deeper now.
Right.
One of them, Belly of the Beast, that's on our Facebook. We shot that all out at sea.
Wow.
So that was shot off the coast of Two Rocks up north, and that was a absolute thrill to shoot.
Film. Yeah.
Our director of photography, so that's video camera guy.
Yeah.
To put it simple, he he got very seasick every single day we were out there. So he would be filming. I'd call action. We would be filming, and I call cut.
Yeah.
And he says to the AC, he's like, "I'll hold the camera," and he goes over the side of the boat. He throws up, and he's like, "Okay, I'm ready, guys." And
that's
he comes
unreal.
Back.
That's the real behind the scenes.
Yeah, I wish we had a BTS
camera
videography there, because that would have been funny.
And how do you guys kind of finance that? So you're obviously like the head of Dunjey Productions.
Yeah, producer, yeah.
But then like, how are you like kind of like making connections, financing that? The entrepreneurial side as well.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're still running a business.
And this is the thing that Whopper doesn't teach you.
Yeah.
This is the thing that Whopper allows you to get creative, and it gives you that space. But if you ever want to do it yourself, you're not going to learn it from Whopper.
Yeah, you don't really know.
So
it's kind of like how like a business degree won't really teach you how to run a business, and you won't get taught by someone who has run a business.
Yeah, exactly.
Either.
You've got to do it yourself. And
I fully agree.
Yeah, it's like
just dive in head first.
Exactly, you just got to do it, and especially when you're young as well, you can just go full head of steam.
Nothing to lose, right?
No, there's nothing to lose. It's a lot of emails, a lot of calls, and
a lot of cold calls.
Yeah, I did some cold calls, definitely.
Yeah.
I've spoken to Alistair Greason, so he was the director of Kokoda movie. It's a pretty big Australian war film, and he's mates with James Cameron, and he was working on Avatar.
Oh wow!
And I cold
Avatar
called
like
him.
Blue People or Avatar Last
Yeah,
Bender?
like the Avatar.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if he was working on the latest Avatar.
Yeah.
I cold called him, and he just gave me some advice, and he gave me some great feedback. This was in reference to our short film we did, and he just said it was a very lovely tribute, and we quoted that, we put that out.
Yeah.
A lot of cold calls.
How do you? I feel like a lot of people would be very scared to do that. I have to do a lot of cold, like I'd say, like texting.
Yeah.
To like people to like.
Yeah, I mean,
reach
you
out.
do it to me. You don't know me, and you're organising stuff, and it's like,
exactly. Never met you.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be like a fake
and
account.
now I'm here. Yeah.
And now you're here.
Yeah.
But I feel like, or actually, importantly, you were like our first guest to ever like ask to come on.
To reach out.
Yeah, to reach out.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's probably a big thing. And then after you did, I had another one straight away, like probably a couple of days after. He was supposed to come yesterday, but he's very sick, so he'll be coming on probably next week, probably episode 12. But yeah, like that was big for me. Like for me, it was like, oh, someone's like out there.
Well, it means that you're getting something.
Yeah,
it means that
something's
you're getting
happening.
Traction and it's growing, and that was due to the fact that I obviously saw it was shared by one of the other guests. So yeah, and that
an expansion of networks.
I suppose that proves my point that I will go out to people and I will ask them for stuff. I like really interview wise, I've only been asked to do 2 things before out of the numerous of ones that we have done. That's me emailing them, and that's me
saying, "Would you like
calling
to
them?" Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I've got so many no's. There's like
for every
yes,
you have to get
5
used to
no's.
Yeah. Unreal. Yeah, absolutely. So you'd say you've been on a few things. Where have you been so far?
Couple of news reports. Perth Now did a nice story on us.
Right.
That was obviously for our war film. So yeah, the
West
100%.
Australian?
Yeah. No, not West Australian yet.
You weren't mentioned there for the waste mark?
Possibly in the West Australian.
You probably would have been.
There was Perth Now. I'm not sure if that went to the West Australian at all.
Okay. Yep.
So
that's like it for like the news media companies.
There's a few more. Some local newspapers. There's a newspaper in Two Rocks. Northern Valley's newspaper.
Yeah.
There's a local Ellenbrook one. I'm forgetting the names. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, some locals as well. There's The Couch, and that's a Foxtel sponsored TV show.
So is it like just like a talk show?
Yeah, talk show kind of a thing.
How long did that go for?
It's about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To sit down.
How was that?
Just talk. It was very good. It was the most professional one I think I've been on, and it was interesting because it was all financed by Foxtel and
Right.
6PR actually.
Oh, 6 p.m. Yeah.
So you come in, you actually do, they fix you up. You got the mic, and you come on 3, 2, 1. We're
Yeah,
live.
I don't do that here, unfortunately.
Mate, this is the best. This is the best you got. So you roll with it. So yeah.
Yeah, so you get mic'd up by 6PR. You on 98.5?
Yeah, 98.5. Couple other.
That was like what, a radio segment?
Yeah. I was on there, I think.
How was that?
2-3 times. Oh, it's always good. Radio, podcast, whatever it is, it's fun.
Yeah. Just love talking.
Yeah. It's fun. But yeah, and that's honestly, it all comes down to reaching out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So you stumbled across my page and then you messaged me and you were like,
Yeah.
it would be cool to come onto this. But you saw the Shaq one. It would have been a while ago when you saw the Shaq one.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And I had actually, I think I might have just flagged the Instagram page, and I came back to it and I said, okay, this is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you on episode 11.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it so far. I'm so glad to be back to like one-on-one podcasts. Been out of it. I'm trying to think. So 7. The last one was probably episode 7.
Yeah.
With R2S Movement, who I actually went to brunch with today. But
really?
Yeah, just before this. But yeah, that was the last one-on-one.
He follows me on
podcast.
Instagram. I follow him. He's I don't know if
massive car guy.
know of me. Yeah, he's a big car guy.
Well, I asked him today because I saw him for brunch and I was like, I'm filming today with this guy. Do you know him? He said, oh, I've only followed him recently, but like I just know he's a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, small world, I suppose, especially in Perth.
It's very small.
But the one-to-one is just so much better. Well, I'm not so sure if it's better because it's kind of like I'm always thinking, okay, what do I say next?
Yeah.
What do I say next? Like, don't want to have any dead time.
Yeah.
Like, like I don't really like edit any of it or much at all.
Yeah, keep it raw.
When we have it like 3 or 4 guests on the couch, at least they can talk amongst themselves and I can think, or I can like kind of like take a moment off. But I suppose in a one-to-one I can't at all.
Joe Rogan style.
Joe Rogan style, exactly. But I feel like the quality of conversation just goes so much better.
I think it does, yeah.
And much deeper as well.
Yeah, it goes deep.
It's also way easier to keep on the same wavelength and not move between subjects. I find with like, if there's 2 people there or 3 people there, it's kind of like us 2 will have a subject, but we'll know what we're talking about, and then the third person will say something else. Even if it's just slightly off track, and then it's just too much going on. And I feel like it's a bit hard for the audience to understand and listen to, but one-on-one's probably perfect.
Yeah,
exactly like you said, Joe Rogan style.
Yeah.
Just kind of get into it.
I like it more, to be honest.
Yeah.
The worst thing would be 2 or more people interviewing. That's the worst.
Agreed.
Because it's like, what are you talking about?
Co-host.
Yeah. Like, why is there
another person?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I always thought like, oh, maybe I'd have a co-host. But
you could have a co-host if you had more than 1 guest. Yeah. I think.
But you think 2 on 1's too much?
Yeah, probably too much.
Yeah. I'd probably agree with that, yeah.
Depends on the role, because you've got like the late night shows, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and they have that kind of that co-character, but it's more of a character. It's not really a host. Yeah. So if you have another host there and they're asking, questions as well as you, it doesn't work.
The dark side of Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We were talking about that as well.
We were talking about it. We can delve into that right now if you want. Or we can talk about the Perth movie scene. Yeah. And then we'll jump into how it compares to Hollywood. So yeah, the Perth movie scene.
Perth scene. It's growing. It's growing a lot. They've announced the new studio. That's in Malaga. So it's like a Hollywood world-class studio that's coming here. A lot of people are excited about it.
So it'll be like a place where people can film.
Yeah.
People
like
can edit everything.
Big warehouse. So in Queensland and Sydney, they have. I think Sydney's 20th Century
Fox.
I think that's the one.
Queensland's got. Is it Warner Brothers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you told me you weren't a movie guy. How do you know that?
No, I actually just guessed that for the audience. Just
You
guessed
got
that
it.
one.
No,
Yeah.
you got that. I think it is. But they were filming Marvel there. So
In
Marvel,
Sydney?
yeah. So I think Captain Marvel. There was another big one, and
Yeah.
There's been some big actors that have come over here, to film those movies. So it'll be the same thing in Perth.
Wow, so we can expect more like probably
Yeah.
like famous actors and stuff
Coming
to be coming
over
here.
here, absolutely.
Do you know what what's it called, like a production company? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Which production company is coming to Perth? Warehouse.
It could be just any. Honestly, numerous. But the
well,
one
Disney owns Fox.
they own everything. Yeah,
And
Disney
they
will come
own-
at some point under
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if you seen that, like.
I've seen it. I know
Yeah,
exactly.
you know what you're
saying.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, you got Disney at the top, and down you've got 10 different
Yeah.
companies, and
And
down
then it's like
from
more
that,
shell companies and more shell companies and more shell
it's
companies.
scary. It's pretty scary.
They own everything.
They own everything.
Surprised Google hasn't come out with like their own production company, because they own
That's a good
YouTube.
point. Do they?
But maybe like
Well, they do. Yeah.
maybe Google's like also like being paid off by Disney. I'm getting a couple guests on Talk Conspiracies
It's like-
later on,
it's
but I got a
like-
lot of conspiracies.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched that film Out of the Shadows,
I know it. I haven't. No.
and then it got taken off YouTube,
So many people have told me to watch it.
57 million views, not trending. So 57
Yeah.
million views in 2 days, doesn't go on trending, which is ridiculous, because it's basically talking out against
That's Google.
all the
There we
media
go,
companies,
yeah.
and then it just gets deleted out of nowhere. There's a whole bunch of them that are on YouTube still though,
Yeah.
that you can still watch, but it's not from the original people that posted it. Scary stuff.
Yeah, it's scary. It's very scary.
Have you come across anything like that in the Perth scene? Like kind of like, oh, be careful what you film, or like, can you try and like,
Yeah.
portray this image? Can you like kind of like convey
absolutely.
this message? That kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
Really?
you're on the right track.
In Perth?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
That's ridiculous.
everything
To me, that's crazy.
Yeah, everything that the government wants to put out now
Okay, yeah.
is
So it's like local government, like state government.
yeah, state government.
State government.
Is pro this, anti this, pro this,
Right.
and it's getting very very political. It's the government funding.
Right.
It's
yeah.
the government funding that is very select in who they.
I don't necessarily think it's the government's fault. It's just that they love power, or what they think. Oh, I have
Yeah.
power. I'm in the government. You don't really have power.
Yeah.
The money controls you, and the
no,
money influences exactly what you can do and can say, and
Yeah.
what you have to say to get re-elected.
Mm.
And the people that control those like funds
Yeah.
are the ones that
At the end of the day,
control
people that
society.
work for the government get a paycheck the same as
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
So it's the people on top
Yeah.
of the actual government.
And you believe that kind of like, I say, we could call it an elite in Hollywood.
Oh, absolutely.
It exists in Perth as well.
Oh,
to an extent?
No, maybe not to that degree. No, I think Perth.
Okay.
The film scene there. What you're talking about, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I think that's strictly Hollywood right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because that's Hollywood, and that's
Yeah.
who you know.
Well, yeah, we're pretty blessed in Australia not to like kind of be too affected,
Yeah,
but we
It's-
still
it's
get
not too much.
like we
But-
get
but
it
then
gets
again-
rubbed off on us as well.
yeah. The celebrities that are in Hollywood are also the celebrities here. So there's not much difference. You go
Very
to
true.
you go to India, you go to Africa, you go to China. Completely different celebrities, completely
Yeah.
different languages. They have different idols. I saw there's an Indian cricketer,
Yeah.
and he has more followers than
Virat
LeBron
Kohli.
James.
Yeah. So I think Joe Rogan did it.
Joe Rogan did that. Okay, yeah,
It was, yeah. So this guy comes in Joe Rogan. I completely forgot his name.
yeah,
And he goes, "Who's like the biggest sports star that you know, Joe?" Because
Yeah.
Joe's pretty American. That's the only thing I don't like about Joe. How like kind of closed off the full world he is.
yeah,
His whole worldview, but like he's like, oh, LeBron James, or like whatever, something like that.
Mm.
And then he goes, here's Virat Kohli, who has literally like way more
More.
followers than LeBron. I think he's got 235 million. LeBron's sitting at like 112. And then he's like, yes.
crazy.
And then he tells him the Super Bowl numbers compared to just the T20
yeah.
World Cup,
Yeah.
just the match between Pakistan and India. Not even like the final,
yeah.
just a group stage match. They got more views than the Super Bowl.
It's insane.
It's insane.
And no one in the Western world would really know that.
Absolutely.
But it's a whole different culture there. So
Well, I suppose in Australia we're pretty well exposed to all parts because we're in Asia basically.
yeah,
We get all of that.
yeah, you
And
get more cricket.
we're a very like multicultural
Yeah.
society as well. Yeah, obviously we have cricket,
Yeah.
which is probably lucky to have.
I'm not a big fan, but
Yeah.
yeah, you got the
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah.
But yeah, Joe was shocked,
Mm,
like fully mesmerized. He couldn't believe it.
yeah,
He thought it was fake.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. So I don't know if that kind of celebrity,
Yeah.
control is there, but I wouldn't know. I'd have to see.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about in LA, the Hollywood celebrities that are woke and stuff. I wouldn't say it's a massive thing here in Perth. That's just because we don't have these big celebrities and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But there definitely is a side though in WA, if that's what you're asking. There's
Okay,
a
so
bit of side.
okay, I'll ask you like point blank, but you don't need to like reveal names or anything. Like, have you ever like got a call or an email or like a text saying like, if you could include this in your movie, it would be great, or something along those lines?
I have from many people around the industry,
Right.
like many
Yeah.
around the industry.
But do you think they're like kind of like?
But
pushing-
that's probably more just their opinion, what they just
Okay,
want to
so
see.
their own personal opinion.
Exactly. So
Okay, yeah.
from no one up top, no, because
Yeah.
it's not like I'm doing anything big that's being pushed out yet.
Yeah.
But I know of people who have definitely been shut down because
Wow.
what they want to do is not aligning with what
Yeah.
governments and studios want to put out. That's been a case all throughout filmmaking, and that's not a problem. And for the government to deny someone money because they don't think the idea is going to work, that's fine. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're asking the government for money to make this movie, and if they don't want to do that, that's fine. But if the reason is because they don't want to put out this certain idea or this certain story, or it's not including this thing, that's when it gets a little bit scary, because you get creativity is shut down a little bit. You can't be as creative anymore. You have to kind of align with what wants to be put out right now, the main agenda.
Yeah. Very true. And if you do align, and the reason that people would do align is to get the funding.
Yeah, exactly. It's to get the funding
And to like chase their own dream.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
most of them probably naively think that, I'll align, I'll get the money, I'll get big enough, and I'll do my own thing. But it probably never ever happens.
No, you become a bit trapped
Yeah.
after a while.
Yeah. The Matrix.
Matrix.
Well, when we talk about the Matrix, like, you started off making video edits and mixes on YouTube.
Yeah, I did.
And you had, which was to my absolute surprise when you showed me your channel just then, you had literally like 4 or 5 videos with like over 500,000. Like you told me you had videos with over 1 million.
I had 2 videos with one was 2 million, one was 1 million.
Yeah, and then you have like a whole bunch that in the thousands, 200,000. That's big stuff.
It's pretty big.
And you were getting paid, like, you told me whatever you were getting paid, X amount from YouTube.
Yeah.
And then the second that you basically release a YouTube video, I've got it right there. It says you need to stop giving up with Trump's face on it. That gets what, like 19,000 views, or was it more?
I think 300,000.
On the Trump one.
300,000.
300,000.
I believe so.
And then
I'll check.
And then the next video has got 45 views. He just gets like shadow banned.
Almost 200.
Oh wow.
200,000.
Yeah, I could see 1.9. That's what I could see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets almost 200,000 views. Like everything's regular for the channel. Like the next video you upload has 50 views.
Yeah.
Silenced.
Yeah.
Just because you released a 3-minute video about Trump.
I didn't think that is what it was.
How many YouTube
at the
strikes
time.
did you have at that time?
I had 0.
So they gave you 3 strikes for one video.
No, they gave me 1, but it was demonetized.
Right.
At that time, that was when I had just graduated.
Okay.
And I didn't know too much about this kind of stuff, and it was growing. definitely. Just the cancellations and things like that. But yeah, I didn't know what it was at the time, and I thought it was generally because I had done something.
Yeah.
Now I used NBA content a lot throughout my channel.
Yeah.
So basketball. And
That's been a copyright issue or something like that.
You run into copyright issues. And that's fine. I understand that. The copyright cracks have gotten bigger and bigger. Like, you know, they really, really strike down now on copyright.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine to a degree because, you know, you are using the National Basketball Association's content.
Yeah.
So that's why my 2 most popular videos got deleted.
But they still pay you for the views.
Yeah. So I've been paid. I keep the money, but obviously they get deleted after. So those 2 videos went.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, what could I do now that's not basketball related? And I was very big into motivational because obviously this is when I was deciding not to go to uni. I was deciding to do things myself.
Do your own stuff, yeah.
And it was the kind of entrepreneur mindset. So I went, okay, why don't I do motivational mixes and I do kind of people? And I said, Trump is a perfect guy for this. He's a billionaire. He
went bankrupt like 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
He's a businessman, and now he's the president. He was the president at the time. All of these different things is perfect for it. And no matter what his personality is.
So they banned you while Trump was the president?
It was straight after. So what it was...
Straight after the Capitol Hill riot?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly. So there was that. So I put that out. It had about 100,000 views at the time.
Yeah.
So it was my first time getting significant money from YouTube in years. And I was like, this is perfect, straight out of high school. And I'm doing this now. And literally a week or 2 later, monetization was cut off from that. And as you said, the very next video I put out got like 50 views.
Yeah.
And to this day, it still has 50 views. It's been like 2 years.
And you had 9,000 subscribers as well.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten back from that. I mean, the views have gone. It's nothing.
Yeah, you've tried a few more. I think you've released 5
more.
or 6 more after that. Still nothing.
Still nothing. And people say, you know, it's just this, it's just that. I think anyone who clearly looks at that can see that there's a problem.
It's clear as day.
I don't make money from this anymore, and I haven't since then, because it was a Donald Trump mix, and I believe I have about 2,000 comments on there.
Yeah.
And it's all love. It's all love, and it's all positive. You don't see one negative thing in there.
Surprising that they don't just like delete the video.
They do it in sneaky ways. Very sneaky.
Shadow banning is probably like a crazy tool that they can use.
Yeah.
Which is what you basically are.
I never knew that.
You think if Trump gets back into like power in 2024, that they would like unban your channel?
No, I think it's just going to get worse.
Yeah?
Honestly.
Yeah,
I think it will
probably
just
agree
get
with
worse.
you actually.
Yeah.
Surely if he gets back into power, he has some control over this.
He's not over...
He was basically wiped off the internet.
Not over
like,
Meta.
Just in one day.
Not over Meta and
Google.
And Google and all of that.
It's Alphabet, right? Google's Alphabet.
Yeah. The big companies, big corporations, big tech. They control everything above.
Yeah.
You know.
We need Elon to take over.
But Google. Elon is doing some good things.
Yeah, well,
he's doing some good things.
We're going to talk about Twitter and Rumble. What do you think about Rumble? That's kind of up your alley.
Yeah, I considered doing stuff on Rumble.
That's what I was thinking. You start on Rumble.
I don't know enough about it.
Become one of the first content creators on Rumble.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just YouTube, but green.
A little bit different, yeah. I would just be interested to see how you can get paid from it and what you can.
Yeah.
Because when I did go on there, I signed up.
I kind of want to start releasing the podcast on Rumble as well.
That would be cool. You could do both.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it probably doesn't... Once the video is like in my like whatever, like on my computer to upload it, it's just like an extra hour.
Yeah. You could do that, and you could see positive results from that as well.
I think I'll upload this one on Rumble. I reckon.
I would
do it.
Feel very privileged to be the first one.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd start backtracking as well with other episodes. I'll see what happens, but I could start posting Rumble tonight. Realistically.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
I think I would be interested to look at it if you know, monetization is actually there.
Yeah.
I know Andrew Tate obviously cancelled on everything, and he's on Rumble now. And he's getting paid a lot. He said he's gotten paid a lot more than YouTube ever did.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's like probably in with Rumble executives.
That's what I was thinking.
And he's also probably got well, he does have a share in them, I'm pretty sure he said.
Yeah. So for
so
the average,
you can compare yourself to Andrew
average
Tate with
Joe Schmo, I'm not sure what you could get from it. So that's why.
Well, are people watching like just their regular YouTube content on Rumble? That's the question.
Not
probably
really.
No, but if you start up and then you become big,
yeah.
And then when people start making the migration,
I think a migration will occur.
Yeah,
YouTube's been
Twitter's growing
15 years.
exponentially right now.
Yeah.
1.6 million new Twitter accounts a day.
Yeah.
Since Elon took over.
Yeah.
Trump's back. Tate's back. Alex Jones, reckon he'll come back?
Alex Jones, he's back.
Is he back?
Oh no, he's not back.
I'd be surprised.
Kanye's back.
Yeah, Kanye's back.
Alex Jones, he's in prison, isn't he?
No, he's on a law. He's got a legal case for Sandy Hook, and he owes $2 billion, which is a joke number because it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, something ridiculous like that.
I don't know too much about him, but
I wonder if he'll get.
He's in the group with
the people that were taken off Twitter.
So I would assume that he's actually a good guy.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, now it's kind of like if Elon agrees, you're back.
Yeah.
But I can see why Elon might not agree with Alex Jones just yet.
I could see why, but
yeah.
Then again, you've got freedom of speech, and
I know Elon's like big on freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how big he is on like the Second Amendment with the guns.
Yeah.
He hasn't really spoken up about
question.
that much. But I'm sure he will.
It's a good point. I don't know. I would assume he would understand the history behind it.
I suppose so.
Because the reason why that's there is because you've got... It's to prevent tyranny. It's to prevent the government from rising up against the people. And when the Civil War came to an end in 17, whatever it was, the Second Amendment was a thing.
Yeah. It's basically based on the trust the people have in their government.
Exactly.
And Americans don't have much.
There's not much trust.
As they should not.
No. So...
Yeah. From what they've
the average person can have a gun to protect themselves from a tyrannical government, and that's why the Second Amendment is a thing.
I don't think we need it in Australia at all.
Even if we did it, it's like, whatever. I don't think that will do much against the government. It will protect you personally, it will protect your family, but in terms of your life, it won't do much.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
So he's kind of going against the elite, being an elite himself. At the same time, he's also against Hollywood because Hollywood is the elite.
Yeah.
Or controlled by the elite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about the elite in Hollywood and how it translates to regular modern day society?
Yeah, it's like, I think from what I've seen, you've got a lot of the celebrities
wokeism as well. Yeah.
They're told,
goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah. They're told what to say a lot of the time by, their managers or whoever they represent. They don't have much freedom in what they say because if they say something, then they can get cut out. And we've seen that, obviously, not just in the acting industry, but the music industry with Kanye. He can't say... He cannot say what he wants to say, what he truthfully wants to say. No matter what, if I agree with that, or if I don't agree, he's not allowed to say it, basically. And, it's the same in Hollywood. But I know Elon, he's had parties in Hollywood. I mean, I think he has a mansion in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's kind of in with a lot of them. You got guys like Drake. They've met Elon. They're friends. They've had dinner. It's like,
but Drake isn't like the elite. Like the elite is like the elite. Like the 10 families, whatever.
Oh, you mean that?
That kind of like all the way up to the top.
Right. Oh well, that's the very elite. That's the people who say
exactly what happens
to the people below. Yeah.
Yeah, those people, the speakers. Yeah. Do you feel like they have obviously they have a massive control in Hollywood and the media?
Yeah.
How do you find that goes in the next, let's say, 20 years? I know my good friend Daniel Lebon likes to talk about this pendulum that's going to come swinging back.
Yeah.
And I suppose it has with Elon and Rumble and Twitter and all this stuff. You think it keeps swinging back?
I hope. I really, really hope. Just so that I can post a Trump video. But I don't know if it's possible in the next 5 years, because you've got the war that will continue to be pushed back on, people like Elon, Twitter, because eventually what you could see is that Google stops promoting Twitter. Google stops putting links to Twitter in their things.
True.
A link
and
to
then
Twitter.
You kind of have like everyone on the left with Google, everyone on the right
just be a big
with
divide.
Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
And if Twitter has no one on the left for the people on the right to argue with, Twitter's just like a whole like right wing platform.
Yeah.
Which is not what you want.
It's a big divide. No, you don't want that. You want both.
You want the healthy medium.
You want both.
And
exactly.
you want all your news to come through and basically get filtered by the left and the right, so that what you get is right in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's what Twitter does.
Yeah.
It's just a filter.
Yeah. Even links to Rumble, on Instagram, if you put up a new, like for this podcast, in 5 years' time, if you put this podcast up, it was a link to Rumble, it might get blocked.
By Instagram,
They might just not allow that link. And
yeah,
that's how they try to shut it out.
Rumble links probably don't work. Probably don't work right now.
You could see that. I hope not. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's because... Yeah. How does this kind of keep going? Like when well, I know you were talking about it before, like Elon, obviously Zuckerberg, they're going to have to age eventually. How do they... Because they're one person... Obviously they're getting controlled. They're just puppets. They're the face behind it. You think replacing the face is just easy? Simple?
As in for
Meta,
Elon or Zuckerberg?
For both.
For both? Well, Elon is definitely much less of a puppet.
Yeah,
I think, than Zuckerberg.
100%.
So, like, Zuckerberg...
Elon might not even be a puppet at all.
Yeah, I think this... From what you can see...
Yeah.
Like, it's all just based on judgment. From what you can see, it's very, very little control people have over Elon. He kind of does what he wants. And he obviously owns Twitter now, so he can tweet whatever he wants. And that is generally Elon.
Yeah. Twitter has complete freedom of speech.
Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely replace the face, but not for Elon.
Yeah.
You can't. For that company, for that SpaceX, for Tesla, all of it, it's Elon. And whoever comes next, that's the real question.
How do you ensure that?
Is that person? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Why do you think wokeism and all that kind of stuff gets pushed? Do you think it just becomes easier to control society when everyone's kind of like fighting their own like almost internal battles and fighting within it, like amongst each other? Like just everyone's divided so much.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
But if everyone just agreed with wokeism, which is kind of like what they're kind of getting to happen, then it's almost like there's no one to fight around with. So maybe Elon is a puppet in that way. Because without the right, the left doesn't exist.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. There's no one to fight with. If everyone's just on the left,
you'll never have
that's
that.
not the left.
You'll never have that, though. I mean,
you wouldn't.
You've got religion, and religion is a big reason as to why people are left or right.
I think less so now than before. I think almost politics is kind of a new religion.
It is.
Yeah.
It is just this new agenda.
Yeah.
It's a new religion in
it is new
itself. Religion. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah. I think I just...
We're diving in.
shocked you there. Yeah, well... Yeah, because at the start of society, you kind of had kings and queens. Like, not start society, but like, if you talk about like the Western world, it was like kings and queens, and it's like whatever they say, you do. And then all the peasants, which are basically us.
Yeah.
We're basically like serfs, as they would say.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we just agree, disagree, be like, oh my god, the king, he has a gold crown, listen to him. And then, I think they lost a little bit of power, and so, like, then they start bringing in, like, the Pope, or like a religious figure, basically like a priest, into every society.
Yeah, that's what Catholicism was.
Yeah, some sort of church, some sort of, like, some religion, whatever the religion was. And now it's just politics. Well, you had governments, but now it's even less than that. It's like left and right, like parts of the government that you have to agree with.
Yeah.
And it's kind of getting scary.
Yeah, they're just trying to push it.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's just creating a divide. And a healthy society is no divide.
Yeah. There has to be like some small levels of divide so that
Yeah, you can
progress
have
is made because
reasoning
people are
and
challenging each other.
absolutely.
But then
Yeah,
once
yeah, yeah.
they're challenging each other to like a detrimental level where like you're going backwards, that's like a
You can do
non-functioning
that.
society.
Exactly. You're allowed to challenge, but you can't shut someone out. You can't
Yeah.
shut up their opinion.
And basically right now what's happening is you can't challenge at all.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you kind of plan to combat that with your films? Because obviously you have some power now.
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a very, very good. It's a good point because it's interesting to see how I want to develop further in the film industry, because the film industry is very, very controlled, and that's what I've looked at over the last 3 years. Even just seeing it in Before Dawn, seeing what Jordan had to do to get what he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. So you can do it independent, and you can shut out, the opinions of the studios and the government, but whether or not you actually get your way in the end, whether or not your movie can be shown on screens, can be, promoted fairly, I don't think it can be now, to be honest.
But you're trying.
Oh, yeah, I'll try, absolutely, but it's also about the content.
Yeah.
If I would ever make content which would kind of be, disagreeable.
Yeah, so far
by
you haven't,
societies.
I suppose.
No, I haven't. But I've had criticism for not having more females in my movie, and I've had this sort of stuff already, and I'm a teenager.
Yeah, literally.
I've got people saying I need more female, I need more this. I can't have less war, less manly stuff, more of this stuff. But I don't want to do that, and I want to do what I want to do.
You just can't be your own self.
Yeah.
Your own
But there's definitely a market for it in Perth, WA especially. There's definitely a market for just good old films, just good old, from the heart, creativity.
How do you kind of get access to the views of a specific film that you've made? How do you track that? Obviously it's not like you post on YouTube and it's okay, this many people watched it.
Yeah, I've got no clue. I've had just word of mouth come back around for Gift of Years.
Yeah.
That one, obviously 100%, and that got shown to a bunch of schools all around WA, and I think even eastern states. And it just got pushed out. It's 100%, this is the perfect film for you to do in year 12.
Wow.
So that was really cool, and I heard about that, and I went to a couple of schools, and I talked there, and it was very good. Very, it was just amazing to watch your film in a classroom and then to talk about it. And I had a friend come back, and they were studying I think it was psychology, at one of the unis here in WA, and they said, we watched your film. And I said...
At uni?
Yeah, and I said, what?
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, because it goes into, PTSD and things like that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, because it's about a World War II veteran, goes through PTSD, and he's got flashbacks to the war. And they said, we watched your film in uni, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that's unreal.
I was like, I got to start copyrighting my stuff.
Well, yeah, you should have.
I should, but...
They should be paying you for that.
It actually is copyrighted, so I don't know. But it's very cool to hear that.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And it's not like unis don't show copyrighted films anyway. So, but it was pretty cool to hear that. And I've heard that it has been shared around a lot.
Yeah.
Just showed it's definitely got attention.
But there's no way for you to kind of gauge that.
Not really, no.
By the revenue, can you gauge it from that?
Possibly. You get a rough estimate.
Yeah.
You get a rough estimate, but it's thousands. It's nowhere. I don't think it's above 10,000. But
the thing is, when you get one view, that's being watched by 100.
That's what
people.
I'm saying. YouTube wise,
it's one person.
If it was 10,000 for me, that's
yeah.
If it's 100,000, it's okay, that's actually good. That's really good. And then 1 million, obviously, it's okay, viral.
Yeah.
TikTok, same thing. A couple hundred views on TikTok, for a video that's meant to be viral, meant to be good, and that you poured your heart out into. It's not too much now.
Yeah.
But for something like a film, it's something.
Yeah.
A film and YouTube/TikTok, it's a lot. It's
very different.
Very different. Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone to go onto Vimeo and for people to watch it on there, it's saying something.
Yeah.
I don't know more than 300, 400 people So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
it's 10 times that, then it's going somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
And locally, it's even bigger. It's very hard to do it in WA because, it's like there's not a big film
Does
market here.
your star actor, does he get noticed or not?
Peter?
Really? Yeah, Peter.
Not yet.
And does he go to Whopper or uni?
No.
Or?
He's doing the same thing as me. So he wants to just pursue acting, and he's doing it via actually getting roles.
Yeah.
So yeah, same thing as me. Yeah.
Right.
Like locally, I think once or twice he's been, oh, are you that person? But I think there's always kind of been a connection there. So
Yeah.
Not yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the future?
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's talk about the whole process very quickly. So you have an idea for a movie, and for you, what's like the whole process from getting that movie onto Vimeo or onto like a screen that I can watch it at?
Starts with the idea, obviously.
Yep.
I will say spread that idea
Yep.
to my closest people. We'll talk it over. Oftentimes that's weeks, and then you get straight into the script. And for most of my shorts, I've done the script. We write it, and then once the script's done, and even while the script's being done, we're looking at producing it. So we're looking at what we need for costumes, what we need for actors, when we're going to do this casting.
This is all fully funded by you right now because you're an independent.
Yeah. Funded by me, but it's also in-kind support, so sponsors.
Yeah. Who's your biggest sponsor?
Oh, they vary for every project.
Okay, makes sense.
Our biggest one, honestly, in total has been our school.
Yeah.
Ellenbrook Christian College. They've given about $3,000 just to 2 shorts in a 1 year span.
Yeah. Wow.
When we were in year 12, and that was that was I couldn't believe it. We would get a check, and it's like, oh, sorry, miss. I got to miss the last 10 minutes of English.
Yeah.
Collecting a check.
I'm on the school's bankroll. Just like you.
I'm on the school's bankroll, and I find out that the big production, the big drama play that they do at the end of the year, had the same budget that they gave to us.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. But to be honest, it was very smart by them because, or by the principal. I think it was really the principal at the time, who had a vision as to how this could help us, because it's not just an internal thing for the school now, as like a drama play would be. It's completely external. It literally goes to Toronto, goes to LA, goes to New York.
Well, I mean, I know you probably don't want to be like a show off or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll say it, like you've got awards from Toronto, Paris, Singapore, just massive like hubs around the world.
Yeah.
Places that some people that have watched the movies like have never been to.
Yeah.
And you probably haven't been either.
Yeah.
To some of the places.
Yeah.
And it's unreal that people there are watching your videos.
I actually have.
Yeah.
That's the thing. India is the only place where we won a ton of awards. I think we won 4 there.
Yeah.
Where I hadn't been. So it was very cool. Obviously, I never went for the films. But it was cool just to imagine that place.
So you've been to Paris to pick up the award, or
not Paris? Sorry, not Paris. But Toronto, LA, New York, Singapore.
Yeah.
It was very cool to imagine in my head that place where I was as a kid on family holiday. My movie is now being showed there, and it was very cool.
Yeah. Well, that's the power of the internet, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah, you've got a boys' trip planned for
Japan. Boys are going to Japan.
When is that? I'll try release yours.
It's in a week.
When you get back.
In about a week's time. You could do it while we're away.
Yeah,
cool.
You don't mind?
Oh,
yeah,
mate, I would love to watch it when I'm away, because I can show the boys.
Yeah, cool. You can watch in Japan.
Yeah.
Then my stuff will be in Japan as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
mate, get you worldwide. Boys trip to Japan.
Yeah, what do you got planned in Japan? What parts of Japan are you going to?
Tokyo,
yeah.
Tokyo's the main spot, and then we're going south. Hiroshima will be really cool to go to.
You'd love that.
Oh, I was insistent on that.
Yeah.
A lot of roller coaster places.
Yeah.
It'd be cool, man. It'd be cool.
Just keen. Have you been there before?
I haven't. No.
Not yet.
No, I'd be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely different language.
Very keen for that.
Yeah. First time I've been in a country with a different language.
Okay.
So I'd be interested.
Yeah.
See how the boys do Japanese. You got to learn some.
Google Translate will be your best friend, I think.
Yeah, exactly. You got to
Most
charge my
likely.
phone.
So you got your 4 movies in the pipeline. When can we expect the first one of those to kind of...
Well, we're going to premiere
drop?
them at the same time.
All 4?
That's the plan. Just because they're short films.
Yeah, how long?
Show
About
'em at the
30?
same time, about 10 minutes
Oh, about
each.
10,
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
Yeah, so show all of those. Looking at doing that in January. So...
Big month ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's all
I'll
been...
invite you. I'll invite you, bro. You'll be there.
100%. I'll be happy to come.
Yeah.
So you filmed everything? It's in the editing stages?
It
or
is,
Yep.
Yep.
Who does the editing?
It's me right now, and it's a very long, painful process.
On DaVinci Resolve as well?
Yeah, DaVinci. I've had some editors take care of other films though. So William Rowe, he did Belly the Beast, and he edited that. So he's an award-winning editor in WA here as well. So he's taken care of that. Apart from that, it's been mostly Peter and I that have just sat down at my desk and gone ham.
You enjoy editing?
Not really so much now.
Okay.
No.
Would it be worthwhile for you to like kind of like pass off to someone else?
It would.
Think?
It definitely would. But
then you can't get your own.
Exactly.
You just be watching them the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I was to sit in the room with him for 8 hours, that would work. That would work.
Yeah.
But that's obviously what main movies do. You sit there for 8 hours, you work through it, and then you come back with a result. But the way I would need to do it, so that I'm not lurking in someone's room, is obviously for them to edit it in their spare time, send me the link, and I'll watch it. And if I look at the link, I haven't seen the footage that they haven't used
that they could have
used.
used.
It's just...
Yeah, I completely agree. Obviously, I'm not in that space, but I understand what you mean fully.
Yeah. I just need to see stuff in front of me.
Yeah.
Because when I film it, I would say I'm the one person that would know where to put things and what to do.
Yeah.
And
it's all in your head, right?
Exactly. I wrote it and I directed it, so...
Yeah.
If someone was to make it work in the most respectful, obvious way possible, it would be the person that created it.
Yeah.
Other opinions are perfect as well, though. So it's not just me; it's also other people that I get.
Fair enough. And so it'd be like a massive premiere. What you'll watch all 4.
Yeah.
In one hit.
Yeah.
Where are you thinking of hosting that?
Not sure yet.
Okay.
Not sure. A cinema, definitely.
Some kind of cinema.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you could rent out the one in Rain Square?
I know the one. Possibly.
Palace,
I've been in
Cinema?
contact with a few.
Yeah.
Palace Cinema.
And then make you pay for that?
Yeah. So I'll look at margins and all of that. I already have. I do have one in mind, but I won't say. I won't say just
don't
yet.
say it unless it's confirmed.
I don't want to shout them out if I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
in the end, if I change my mind.
That's true. That'd be elite.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Red carpet?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you got to have a red carpet.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be there then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on.
Mate, it was a pleasure.
It was actually really.
We went
good.
everywhere. We went film. We went politics. We went.
Yeah, that's kind of how I like to just do it like that. Just do it. Just go everywhere, wherever it takes you.
Yeah.
Stuck to a good, decent time, I think. I think it'll be a good listen as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Opinions. A lot of opinions.
Nice to have you.
Thank you, bro.
First guest who hit me up and wanted to come on. So obviously, always remember that.
Yep.
We'll get your memento.
Definitely. Get a
soon.
Dunjeyproductions cap there.
Yeah, whenever you're in the area, swing by. Whatever it is. But yeah, thank you so much. Episode 11's done and dusted.
Done.
We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.